Hello, everyone. Yay, I'm live again. Welcome back. It's been a while, although I did a live session, but it was my patrons. But now I want to do a live one for all of you. So I'm really hoping that I will see a few coming up. Let's see, let's wait. If you are watching, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to know where you're from. I know if you're from the States, it's like really like in the middle of the day, so it's probably not a really nice time to watch. But if you're from Europe, then probably it's a great time to watch. So that would be great. So let me know where you're from, why you're watching, what you're expecting from me. That would be great to know. I'm so happy that I'm back again. I had a really, really tough time the past months. I had to leave my house. Luckily, I could move in with somebody else in somebody else's house who was going to. It was a friend who sold her house, but it was only sold at the end of or at the beginning of December. So I can stay here for 3 months. It's a huge house. It has 7 bedrooms, and I come from a place with 2 rooms, so not even 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms. That was just the living room. The boys slept in the living room and the bedroom. That was it. So now I have a huge room. I can do my lives. I can do them here. I can do my editing, everything I can do here. So I'm really happy. Hey, Patrick, so nice that you're here. Where are you from? Let me know. It would be nice. I don't think I ever saw you here. It would be great to see some new people. I also used the time that I was not, I didn't post a lot of videos, like once a week or so, which was really, really little for me because usually I did 3 a week, and now Pittsburgh, nice, that's not so far. So no, it's Pittsburgh, PA, so that means it's in the States, right? Okay, so it's like 10 o'clock with you? It's really awesome that you're here at 10 a.m. It's Saturday. Usually people have lots of other stuff to do. So thank you so much for joining me here. And the same for you, BTS guy. Nice to see you here. Really happy. It's not as busy as usual. Normally I have like 50, 60 people watching, but that's okay. We'll just make it into something really cozy. And maybe also the topic is not so interesting. I think the topic is really interesting because I'm going to share with you how the 5 love languages work in kink and BDSM. And I think that's very valuable. But hey, what to do? So, well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. About introduction. I'm going to talk about Hello, Jeff. Nice to see you. No women. I mean, it's a communication topic, and there's no women. So funny. Oh, this is very good for both of you, for men, for women, and for pretty much anyone. And not just for any relationships. It's also really handy to know this if you're. I'm working with someone, and I had a business partner, and she had a completely different communication style that I have. Hello, Casey. And Alaska. Wow, that's awesome. I never met someone from Alaska, so you're the first one, Jeff. Nice to meet you. So we had we really didn't understand each other, and that was to tell each other that we appreciated each other, because it's not just because of love. It's about appreciation, about feeling appreciated, about feeling seen, and that's not just in relationships. So I had to work this out with my business partner, and I had to work this out with my relationship partners as well. And the funny thing is that I learned about the 5 love languages when I was 21 or 22, when I was in my first actual real relationship, and I completely forgot about it in my next. DJ Michel, hello from the east of France. Nice to see you guys. And I completely forgot about it, and I had to start all over again. So we read the book together again, and that really helped, actually. So I think it's valuable. How many of you are in a relationship right now? So there's a little bit of delay, so I have to wait for your answers. And it's a shame that you cannot just raise your hand or so, or to just type a 1 or a yes, or if you're in a relationship, just type something in the chat so I can see it. or anyway, all relating to people. So that's not, I mean, in that sense, it's for everyone, because it's really nice to know about love languages. If you don't have a relationship, you're in a relationship, great, that's fantastic. This is really gonna blow your mind if you're, I mean, it might be give you a bit of insights in how you communicate, and why sometimes you feel you're showing your appreciation and your love, and it's really just falls in it, like it drops on the floor dead, you know. And also the other way around, that sometimes you feel like really not appreciated, and you really feel like your partner is not trying to also show them that you're loved. 17 years married, Casey, that's wonderful. That's actually, that's an achievement, eh? You should be proud of that. And it's really awesome that you're still here and learning new stuff, which is wonderful. Guys, we're also going to do a test with you. How cool is that? I'm going to show you a test. It's the first time that I'm going to actually share my screen with some PowerPoint presentation. I'm not sure how it works. We'll have to see, but that will be fine. So what does it mean that it's a language? The point is that that it's a language. It means that there are different ways that you can show your appreciation and that you show your love. But it means that it's like one person speaks French and the other person speaks Spanish and the third person speaks English. It's except when you're French, then you think then you're better than other people. But if not, usually, but that's not true. And it doesn't matter whether you speak French or Spanish or English. All languages are similar. They're just as important as the others. There's no right or wrong in it. So that's what it means, that it's a language. And the whole point is, if you know what languages somebody else is talking, then you can just translate your words to them. And that's really going to make such a difference, I can tell you. Especially because it's going to frustrate you if you don't. I'm going to give you some examples, because I have tons of examples from my last relationship, and it will be fun to do that. I have no more collar since a couple of years because my mistress let me down because of her family, so no more spurs on my butt. Oh, that's a shame. But you know what it's like to be in a relationship, and you probably have relationships with people. So it's anyway something that you can work with. So you're going to learn something. So what I would like to do with you, before I'm going to tell you what it's all about, I want you to do a test. So I need you to bring a pen and paper. So I'm just going to wait for that. I have a fantastic music for that. You get a few seconds. It's really fast. So go take a pen and paper. And then in the meantime, I'm going to check how I can share my screen. Okay. Share screen. Window. Okay. There we go. Here. Share. I'm supposed to see this. Yay, it works. Awesome. Oh, that's the results. I don't want to show you the results yet. We're start at the beginning, huh? Okay. Officially, of course, what I should do, I can try if that works. It works. It's amazing. Okay, really cool. So here's the text. I want you to write down that all the time you're going to get in this test, you're going to get two options, two sentences. And you need to write down, and every sentence has a letter after it. I'm going to just show you the first one. So this is the first one. So there's two options. First of all, I like to receive a note with the sweet text on it. And the second one is I like to be hugged. So it's all from a person that likes you, or you love, or you like, or you have a relationship with. Which one do you prefer? And if you prefer the receiving a note with a sweet text on it, you're going to write down on your piece of paper, you write down an A. If you prefer to be hugged instead of that, you're going to write down an E. Is that clear? Let me know if that's clear. Okay. So just write it down. It's really nice if you share it in the comments, but you need to do something with it. So you also need to write it down on a paper. Okay, well, if you're ready with the first one, I'm going to continue to the next one. Here you go. Second one. I like to spend one-on-one time with close friends. That's a B. Or I feel loved when someone offers me practical help. And it's possible that both of them are interesting for you, but you need to choose which one is the most appealing for you. It's about one-on-one time with close friends or someone offers you practical help. Which one is more exciting, appealing for you? If it's the first one, the one-on-one time, you write down a B on your paper. And if you feel loved when someone offers you practical help, you write down a D. Next one. I like it when people give me gifts. Or I like to spend leisure time with family and friends. If you like it when people give you gifts, you put in a C. If you say, I like to spend leisure time with family and friends, you put in a B on your piece of paper. As you can see, I'm going quite fast, but I want you to not think too much about it, because we tend to overthink too much and then we just kill it. So just see if you can work a bit from your subconscious. So you just write it down, and I'm going to the next one. Next one. I feel loved when people do things to help me. Then you write down a D. Or I feel loved when people give me a hug. Then you write down an E. If you're doubting and you're not sure which one is for you, you could also turn it around. And you can say, I feel not loved when people don't do things to help me. Or I feel not loved when people don't give me a hug. When you're expecting one and you don't get it. See? That's my former partner was like that. He just was really physical and he just wanted to be hugged all the time. And when he didn't get it, he was really feeling turned down. Next one. I feel loved when someone I love or admire puts his arm around me. E. Or I feel loved when I receive a gift from someone I love or admire. C. Next one. I like to go places with people I love. B. Or I like to high five or hug the people I love. E. Visible symbols of love are important to me, such as a color. C. Or I feel loved when someone gives me a compliment. A. And the same is, do you not feel loved if you don't wear any symbol? And do you not feel loved if someone never gives you a compliment? Which one is more important for you? Next, I like to sit close to people I enjoy being around. E. Or I like it when people tell me I look amazing today. A. Next one. I like to spend time with family and loved ones. B. And I like little gifts just because. So without any reason, if I get a little gift just because, I like it. C. Next one. Words of acceptance are important to me. So that means also, it doesn't really have to be like really a compliment, but it can also be someone accepting that you are there, or they accept your opinion, or they appreciate that you did something for them, for instance. That's A. Or I know someone loves me when they help me. D. I have a mom who's like that. It's also what she does, how she shows her love. Next one, number 11. 2 more to go after this one. I like being together and do things with my loved ones. B. Or I like it when kind words are spoken to me. A. "12. What someone does affects me more than what they say. D. Hugs make me feel connected and valued. E. And the last one. I value praise and try to avoid criticism. A. Or several small gifts mean more than one big gift. C. This was the last of the questions. So now I want to ask you to write down for yourself, just count them. How many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's, and how many E's do you have? And then I would love to hear in the comments. Now, I think you want to know what it means. You haven't seen the questions from 4 to 6. Okay, I'm going to do them, redo the questions 4 to 6 for DJ Michelle, but I'm going to do them fast, so pay attention. This is 4. I feel loved when people do things to help me. D. Or I feel loved when people give me a hug. E. So you need to think about it like, I love it when people, if someone helps you move, or they cook for you, or for instance, they put out the garbage without you asking them, or you put the kids to bed without your partner without you asking for them, or without you asking your partner, that kind of stuff. When they do things for you without you telling them, but just to serve, that's D. And if you feel love when people give you a hug or just be physical with you, they touch you when they pass, then you feel loved. 5, I feel loved when someone I love or admire puts his arm around me. E. Or I feel loved when I receive a gift from someone I love or admire. C. And 6, I like to go places with people I love. B. Or I like to high five or hug the people I love. E. Okay, I hope that was clear. And I hope that would give you enough time. And otherwise, I'll just have to ask you to watch the replay, because I think otherwise it's not fair for the others. So now, I don't know what you wrote down, but here is what the results might say. So you either have an A, a B, a C, a D, or an E. needed to go back to the last one. So there are 5 languages of love. The first love language is called positive words, or words of affirmation. As Gary Chapman, the writer, he's the author of the book, The 5 Love Languages. He calls it words of affirmation. It's positive words. The second one is quality time. Third one is gift. Fourth one is service. And the last one is physical touch. Now, I told you it's languages. And you probably have maybe even all of them, because there's all the time 2 of them that you have to choose from. So 13, this is like a 3-minute test, right? So it's just to give you the impression. But I'm going to give you a few more examples on how you can see, how you can find out what is your favorite love language. And also what I'm going to share with you is some examples how you can figure out what is the love language of your partner, and how you can figure out how you can actually change your communication. Now, I was talking about positive words. If your love language is positive words, that means that for you it's super important that somebody actually tells you every now and then that they love you, that they tell you. And I mean, there are people in the world that's like, why don't you ever tell me that you love me? And they say, I told you when we were married, and I'll tell you when things change. And they really don't feel the need to express their love in the meantime. If you are a partner who has as a love language positive words, that's really hard. Hey, Monique, so nice to see you from Idaho. We're talking about love languages. I just explained to them the first, the positive words, love language. So I hope you can imagine that. How you can also see those, how you can recognize people who have this love language. Those people with that, the people with the love language positive words, they're very attentive. They always give compliments. They see it when you change something. They never forget to thank you when you did something for them. They always see it and they appreciate it, and they encourage you with words. For them, words are important. So this is the first love language. As you can imagine, if you are having a positive words love language and somebody else is not so communicative, that's really hard for them. And what happens is when you have a love language and your partner has a different love language and you don't get what you want because you don't get a lot of compliments and you don't get appreciation by words, is what often happens is that the other partner the partner that doesn't get what he wants, is they're going to send more and more and more signals of how they express their love. So what they start to do is they start saying, I love you, like pretty much every day. They're starting to give compliments, and they're going to be very, very pushy. And that what happens with the other person that doesn't have this love language, they think like, woman, get out of my comfort zone. You're way too close. It's not just women. There is plenty of men also that have this love language. The point is that it doesn't work. If you have your own love language and it's different from what your partner is having, then it's really hard to figure out how. It's really hard to actually get love and also accept love from it. You don't see it. You don't see also the symbols of love. You don't see it from your partner as well. Now, the next one is quality time. Quality time is just what it means is that you really appreciate that someone spends time with you. And it means quality time, like really phones off. If you're having the quality time love language, for you it's really hard if someone gets distracted while they're talking with you, while they're spending time with you. If you have quality time as your love language and you're going out for dinner, and the person that you're taking out for dinner is all the time on their phone because their friend's having a problem, you will probably at one point go home because you don't really see the value of spending time with them like this. And this is the biggest gift that people can give you, is spending time with you, dedicated time. But the point is, it's also the other way around. This is what you give to other people. Instead of bringing a gift, you tell them, let me take you out fishing or something. Or let's just spend time together. The third one is gifts. That's my love language. I'm crazy about gifts. It's not that I'm like very materialistic or so. I'm not at all. But what for me is important is the what shows that you thought about it. And I do the same to other people. I love to write notes for my kids, and I put them in their lunchbox. I mean, I rarely go somewhere without bringing a gift. But this is also how I like to be getting signs of love. If you want to make me happy, if you want to make an impression for a lifetime, bring me a rose on our first date. Of course, you don't know at the first date that this is my love language, probably, but this is how you treat me. This is how you would treat someone that has a gifts as their love language. That would really help. The last one is the fourth one is service, and you may think that this is something that is the love language of submissives. It's not. It's also often the love language of dominance. But in a way, it comes in so many different shapes and forms. And this is the love language of my mom. And she loves it when I would do, for instance, I would take the Hoover and hoover the house without asking her. She would love me forever. She would forgive me everything. You bring a gift, you bring roses to a person with gifts as a love language if you did something wrong. If you have a partner who has service as a love language, and you want to make up for it, then what you do is you do the all the chores that they hate. You do the laundry without them asking, for instance. And it doesn't just have to be for women that it's in the household or something, and you do something like that, but it's also for men. It can even be like often people that have service as their love language are the ones that get coffee for others, but it can also be the person who's always offering their help. Like I have a friend, and he does something with books, and the moment that I told him that I was writing a book, he immediately offered me to edit my book. He has service probably as his love language. If you are not aware of the love language that you have, can you imagine how this can conflict, and how this can be very very hard to find out how to actually talk to each other in that specific language. The last one is physical touch. Physical touch was the love language of the father of my children, and which was really, when we found this out after quite a while, too late. We should have done this before. We found out that he had physical touch and I had gifts when we were not doing so well. And one of the things that we had a lot of confrontations about was that he all the freaking time, wanted to hold me, wanted to hug me, wanted to hold my hand. He was always touching me. And it drove me crazy. And physical touch for me is not one of my, there is what you can see with DJ, he shared he has 5 times B, 4 times 4, 2 times D, and 2 times E, and 0 C. That usually, that's also only because we had only 13 questions, but you see that you have more love language that are your favorite. So one is probably the biggest one, and then you have a few that also work. So it's totally fine that you can also work with the other languages. But if you have physical touch like really low on your priorities list, what he was trying to do was because he felt rejected because I wasn't that much from the physical touch, and he wanted to show me how much he loved me. So he was all the time touching me, and it got worse and worse and worse. And for me, it was very intrusive, and I felt it feels like he's just too much in my comfort zone. Sometimes I just don't want to be touched. And that really didn't work. And the point was, I was craving for him just to write me a note, a sweet note, or a card or something. And only when we figured out that we had a different a different love language and we could actually start talking each other's love language, that's when we finally manage to work it out and to figure out how to work together on it. Now, what I would like to do is, I actually connected a bit to dominance and submission, because you probably can imagine that if you have a submissive who has positive words as her love language, what you should do to make her feel loved and to make her feel cherished. Show her words of appreciation. She will probably love to hear good girl or good boy. Well, most submissives do. But submissives who have positive words or words of affirmation as their love language, this is for them is wonderful to hear. But it's not just what you can let them hear. There's another thing. If you have a submissive who has positive words as their love language, you can also think of assignments to give them that get this out of them, because what they will probably love is to write you something or to tell you something. I think I created affirmations for submissives. This is wonderful. I mean, I love it too. And positive words for me is a big one. But positive words, it's for a lot of submissives is the affirmations work. But if you have a positive words love language, then an affirmation works even better. Reading someone a story, telling her that she needs to write you a poem, tell her to write a fantasy, writing things down, having her to use words actually to express how she feels and to serve you with words. That's her way of serving, their way of serving them. Now, if you have a dominant with positive words, you may think that that dominance decides whatever they want to hear, right? But that's not entirely true. I'm still looking for ways to show my appreciation to my partner. And if the love language of my dominant would be positive words, then also the other way around, it also works. I will write him a love letter. I will tell him I love him. I will not just show him, I will tell him. That's important for him, so that is what I will use. I will be clear about what I want. So I'm also putting in words my experience. I'm putting in words my desires, because words are important. And that will give him also, it will establish his position for him. Now, if you have quality time, there is no difference in submissives or in dominance. If quality time is your main priority, then quality time is what there is. But this is something really to take care of, because if you're a submissive and you don't have quality time in that, you might, or if you're a partner and you don't have quality time in your list, you might be tempted to spend all your time doing scenes and doing exciting stuff together. But quality time often also means just be together, have deep conversations, even being quiet together. And it's not just, it's really quality time. It's not just the time that you spend together, it's the quality time. So often it means, for instance, that you do a scene and that you really take the time also for aftercare for both of you, and especially for the person who has quality time as their love language. If you have quality time as your love language, you will want to spend your aftercare time together. There are submissives and dominants that prefer to spend their aftercare time alone. They really want to be alone. They probably have a different love language. Now, for gifts. Gift is not just bringing presents. Gifts can also be gift of service. It can be making him coffee without him asking, because you know that usually during this time of day, he usually comes down to make himself coffee and you bring it. It can be a note somewhere on the mirror. It can be a note in a lunchbox. It can even be, and it can be presents, of course, also. But it can also just be like sending them a lovely message. To go shopping with my mistress was funny too. DJ, I get that, because for you, quality time is important. So going shopping is spending time together, and that means that is important for you. Gift is also for me. Gifts are important. Is my love language. So as a submissive, the assignments that you could give me is just like create me a picture. Creating. I have a calendar where I need to. That's really like my diary. So it's a diary with all the edges and all the orgasms that I have. So I really make it into a piece of art. It's a gift to my master. Well, if you have the love language of service, then this is you would say it's pretty easy to fill in, and that's actually because service has a really profound role in BDSM relationships, in DS dynamics. I'm talking about DS dynamics. If you're in a dominant and submissive power exchange relationship, service has a huge role, and not just the service from the submissive to the dominant. Also, like in real power exchange, there's a lot of service from the dominant to the submissive, and it will appeal to both of them. But just to be aware that if one of them has this love language and the other one doesn't, that it might, at one point, it might get a bit of friction. And it's really nice just to talk about it and think about how you can be of service, and also how you can talk each other's language in it. And especially if your dominant has the service love language, and your love language is different, then you might think that the service that you're doing them, that because you agreed on it, is enough. But there's very little things that will make them happier than serving them without asking, or serving them without asking something in return, or expecting something in return, like real service. That's probably what is going to make your dominant happy too. Now, physical touch. You can often recognize those people that with this type of love language, because they are very touchy. Those are the people that like really holding your hand. They touch your shoulder when they move by. They hug. They like to hug. They're like really physical. This was something for me that was really. I grew up in a family where physical touch was really. We were sitting on our parents' laps until we were 3-4 years old, and then we had to move. Now, we also had 5 children, so we had to, we had to just like compartmentalize. This is your block of time and stuff. But it was just like my mom, she never hugged us, and she's not like kissing us goodbye. So it's like our family like kisses like in the air, like what we say, like the Americans do. But I don't even know if that's true. But I just like to give people a real hug now, but I wasn't used to that. And then I found a partner who had physical touch as his love language. Well, you can understand how that was quite problematic in the beginning. We really had to work through that. And I had to learn this. And I simply learned this by doing a simple trick, and that is, you have a love language that's physical touch. I should hold you for at least 6 seconds. So I was giving him a hug, and I was counting till 6. And only then I was allowed for myself to let go. And it sounds stupid, but he was so happy with it. And I may have felt, especially in the beginning, I was feeling like, oh, this feels like really uncomfortable, and it feels like not real, it's not meant. But that's the whole point. It is meant because I'm giving him a present, and I'm giving him what he wants. So I hope this was valuable for you. Is there anything that I had to say? Yeah, I had a completely different structure, but that's okay. Let's see. Banners. What else? No. I covered everything, so do you have any questions? I'm so fast today. Just gonna stop sharing. Yay, I'm back. I think this is also why my color is means so much to me. It's not just because what it symbolizes, it's also because it's a present. I wonder if he knows. He probably does. Any questions, guys? I like to buy high heel shoes for her or underwears, and she was happy to get them. Yeah, I can imagine. I would like someone to buy me high heels. Did you know what kind of love language she had? You can see that in a way that how she is treating you, how she expresses her love to you. So if she's giving a lot of presents, a lot of gifts, then it might be that gifts is her love language. If she likes to spend time with you a lot, then this might be her love language. I know that this can make a lot of difference if you find out what is the love language of your partner. There's a very extended test on the website called the five languages of love.com. You can go there and do the test, and then you can figure out what is your love language and what is your partner's love language. And I'm pretty sure that it will give you more information. So guys, I'm just gonna say good night. I loved spending time with you. We were a small group, but that's okay. It was fun to do. And wishing you a good night. See you around in the next video. Tomorrow there will be another video uploaded about role playing. Speaking about quality time. Ciao, everyone.